Hey guys, Tech Agent here. Welcome back to more vintage headphones. I've got a lot of these coming up periodically. I've got currently have I think two more vintages that I have to cover, and then one more is on the way. That's a very special headphone. But today we have the Sennheiser HD545. I've had this for probably a month now, but I didn't do the video, so I thought I'll do the video right now. But here's the HD545 from Sennheiser. This is a very classic Sennheiser. This is the best way to explain this is that this is in the family of the HD600 and HD580. It was launched back in the 1980s, the mid to late 1980s. I don't know the exact date on it, but in that time period, when the 580 was launched. It's not as old as the 540 and the 530 that I have, but it is still the vintage Sennheiser. When I got these were in very bad condition. Now they look quite amazing because I've got brand new ear pads, brand new headband, genuine Sennheiser spare parts. In fact, these fucking spare parts costed me as much as the headphones, so these are expensive. But once you put them on, the headphone is essentially brand new. So what is the 545, and compared to the modern Sennheisers, the modern 500 series of Sennheiser, how does it compare? The interesting thing about this 545 is that it was launched, as I said again, in the 1980s. During the time period, the only competitor Sennheiser had at that time was the Beyerdynamic DT831 or some 931, or I forgot the exact name. But those are the mid-level Beyerdynamics, the DT880s and stuff. Those are higher end ones at that time. So this 545 was competing against those, and obviously it's not as good as those Beyerdynamics. Compared to the modern Sennheisers like the 598 that I have and other 500 series, this is obviously way superior. You just cannot compare the modern Sennheisers to these vintages because these are obviously having higher fidelity drivers in every single way. So compared to the modern stuff, this is obviously a lot better, and I'll be telling you guys why in my review. But to the 545 itself, build quality seems to be fairly decent. The hinges or these articulation spots, these are very loose. They don't really have that the proper the ASI, whatever that is. It seems to be slightly troublesome, and I don't think it's gonna break, but it's too floppy. As you can see, it bends a lot. The headband itself, there's it's spring steel like all 650, 600 series, but the plastic they're using, this is not cracked, but this is prone to a lot of cracking. The old Sennheiser, even my vintage new old stock 580 is prone to cracking and stuff, so you gotta be very careful. This luckily hasn't cracked yet, but I'm pretty sure if I bend it up slightly more than the regular or the suggested size of a normal human head, it's gonna easily break because this is very cheap plastic. You can even hear it. It's cheap. This 545 also has a higher end model, the 565. The only difference between the 545 and the 565 is physically is the mesh. The 565, the 545 is plastic. 565 is metal. It's a metal mesh right here. This is a plastic mesh, plastic grill that is. It's a metal grill. Otherwise, they're almost identical. The pads are the same. Ear pads are the same. Headband pad is the same. Everything is exactly the same. They also have removable cables. These are the same connectors as the 580, 600, 650, not the 530. The 530, 540, and 540 reference 2, and the 560 Ovation 2, and the normal 560, as well as the 530 reference 2 and the 540 reference Gold. Those have a different connector. Those will not fit on these 565, 580, and 600, 650, and the 580 Jubilee. But as you can see, they look amazing. These are vintage. They're quite nice. I highly suggest finding them if you can. These go for regularly less than $80. You can find them. You can find them for even less. but usually they go for like $80 to $70 and stuff. More than that I would not suggest paying, because the earpads are expensive, and chances are this $80 pair you're buying has flattened, completely worn down earpads and headband pad. The earpads are, again, they are same among all the headphones, but the headband pad is different on the 560 and 565 that is. This is the 650 headband, so it's not exactly original, but again it functions the same. Size is a bit different, but I mean you can obviously, there are many ways you can fix it. I've used some cyanoacrylate to kind of bond this to the plastic so it doesn't flop around and stuff. Otherwise it fits easily. It's just slightly small. And the 540 and 565 headbands are out of stock. Sennheiser doesn't have them in stock anymore. So there you go. This is the 545 reference headphone. A very nice headphone, very nice vintage. You can get these for $70. Put some new pads, put a new headband, and these are gonna kick ass. These easily beat the 598 and shit. Don't buy those headphones. Never buy the modern Sennheisers. They suck. Buy the vintage stuff. These are not as good as my 530. My 530 vintage, I would say they're very similar actually in terms of signature. The 530 has less bass than the 545, but at the same time the 530 has better soundstage, better imaging than the 545. The 545 has the 650 imaging, which is very three blob, so it doesn't really sound that wide, and it's not great compared to the 530, which is very nice. Overall, I recommend these. Absolutely recommend these. These are gonna last you a long time. Put new pads and basically have a brand new headphone. As I said, cables are removable. Springs, they get loose, but well, my pair doesn't have any problems with the spring. You can easily mod them if you wanted to, and these should serve you well. The 545 reference, a very nice headphone. Take it easy, and obviously, like always, have a good one. All right.
Just wanna win once, but keep losing without any signs of advancement. They don't give me no chances. I can't stand this. They tell me to stick with my art, but I already filled the fucking canvas. I want answers, motherfuckers. Just give me some fucking respect, man. Some credit. That's all I ask for,